Hey, we're talking about an old classic, Tater Tot Casserole. We're saving you money, and it's also in a one-pot meal, and it is Cowboy approved. So come on up here and get a chair, because it will not last long. 2 pounds, certified Angus beef ground, 80/20. People say, 80/20, is that the year it was born and it's 20 years old? No, it is 80% lean, 20% fat. Makes really good groceries, it does. I'm thinking it is some of the best stuff in the world to use. Got it crumbled up. Go ahead and fit it in there. You can tell by that sound that that Dutch oven was hot when it got there. That's what we was after. Make sure the lid is on secure before you shake the seasoning, or you get a whole lot of it. So we're going to give it a good showering of our original seasoning, and we're just going to let it cook down there for, I'd say, 2 or 3 minutes. You can see as Shannon get in here, we're beginning to brown up a little. I'm going to go ahead and put them onions in there, as my good friend Justin Wilson would say. Make sure you get everybody, get them mixed up in there good. I think it was something to me really that meant a lot when I was cooking, especially fall works for them Cowboys. They'd come in, it'd be one of them old damp, chilly days at noon. And they'd ride in there and they'd stand around old Bertha and get warm a little bit, get them a cup of coffee. And they knew better, because you're never supposed to look at what's in a Dutch oven. You don't take the lid off. That was just Cowboy etiquette. And I remember one of them peeked over and he said, "Tater Tot Casserole." He ain't had none of that since I left home, and I've been gone home for 35 years. So as they got all ready and everybody gathered around and we blessed the food, I told him, I said, you know, for licking in that Dutch oven, I said, you might ought to go last, because I said, for a man that ain't had none of this in 35 years, I'm thinking you'll get the whole pot. Well, there was plenty to go around, but I ended up being there 3 weeks, made this meal 5 times for them Cowboys at noon because they enjoyed it so much. It is a classic that's always sort of stood by me. If it's in a horse race, I'd bet on it every time. What? 4 tablespoons of butter. Yep. Once you go ahead and just get that sort of mix up around there and let it melt, add 3 garlic cloves that are minced up. You always tend to add garlic when it gets closer to the last of a recipe that you're cooking something in a skillet. That way you don't burn the garlic, because we don't want to burn it. We want all that great flavor there it's going to bring to the table. Browning up, simmering, so we're going to go ahead, mushroom soup. Now if you get really industrious, we do have a video, and Shannon's going to link it up there for you. Homemade mushroom soup. Ooh, it is so good. But folks, I was on a ranch. Nearly most of the time that I ever cooked this, we used a lot of canned goods. Go ahead and, you can do it 2 ways. You could dump it right in there, but I sort of prefer this method more than just dumping it right on top of that meat. These are Hatch green chilies. I mean, bringing so much flavor to the table, but also some of the W sauce. Where's your sister? What you doing? Who there? I mean, I have trouble with it, so we're just going to put about that much right there in there. This stuff is like dynamite. You don't want much of it because it can be very overpowering. They make mesquite, they make hickory, different flavors like that. I prefer the mesquite. That's what this is. So be careful. You ever watch that old John Wayne movie where that guy was mixing nitroglycerin and he was pouring it from one ingredient to another to try to get it in there? So we're looking for 2 drops and hope it don't explode. 1, 2. So we're going to mix that. You can see it's already beginning to look like something I just put on a cracker or a tortilla and just go to town. Right in here it goes, folks. I mean, we are fitting to spread the love and the goodness everywhere. You know, I told you we used a lot of canned goods when we was cooking for them ranches for so many years, and still do when we're on a ranch, because you can take it, you can keep it a long time. You never know sometimes how long you're going to be out there, so it's good to have them. And when you cook with canned goods right, you can transform that flavor to where nobody even knows you ever had a canned good. And I always like them, and I look for those that's on sale. We're going to cook this about 2 to 3 minutes to make sure that everybody has blended in flavor. My mother never fixed tater tot casserole that had cheese on it. But me and the people all in Wisconsin and across the world, everywhere, love cheese. So we're going to put about a cup of each one of them in there. What? Pepper jack and cheddar. Now, you can use whatever flavors you want to, but I think these 2 combine to do really well. And some of you be saying, well, why don't you put it on top? The tater tot is the star. You got to let him shine through there. Okay, folks, I'm going to tell you right now, Get whatever kind of tater tots you want. It don't make no difference. Just make sure that they're frozen. Or, pardon me, that was about to get in the shot. You can watch our video. Yeah, we did a homemade tater tot. You can have homemade mushroom soup, homemade tater tot. Hey, saving you more money, it is. Now, I never did really measure these, and I'd see my mother, she'd poke them down in there where they was all standing up just like this. I just give them a little mash and just put them in there wherever I can get them. We're looking at about 3 or 4 cups here because I want it to be covered securely in tater puff tots. I do. So, and I'm going to tell you right now, it ain't got to be a name brand for some time for it to be good. So, show me the. This is what you call Best Buy. Best choice.
What's it called?
Potato puffs. Shredded seasoned potatoes. Made with 100% real potatoes. These was not your artificial taters. Nope. But to any good tater that I ever cooked in my life, what goes on top of them, Shannon, that makes fried taters better? That original seasoning. Always. Whoop, that in there's a little out of place. Get him down in there. Go ahead and give him a little mashing. Seed him in that cheese. One more that's trying to get out. Give him a little shaking of this right on there. So if you're in the house, preheat your oven to 350 degrees and you're going to cook it about 35 minutes probably. Wait till them tater tots get really good and golden brown and you'll see all that bubbly goodness peaching up down through there. But it ain't going to take that long in a Dutch oven with good hot coals underneath and on top. This is really an easy dish to do because on casseroles, the meat's done cooked through, the sauce is there. You're sort of just really cooking the top and incorporating all the flavors as it bubbles there. So this is something you can get the kids in. Fall of the year's coming up. This makes a great camping recipe. You'll impress a lot of folks with tater tot casserole. Well, you see me, I just had me a big old pretty heaping hump of coals right there on that flat metal. Just spread them out to where you got enough room you can get your trivet in there. And you wouldn't even have to have a trivet on this dish since it's like a casserole. But I prefer one, sort of slows things down, lets simmer and get everything. Move the coals all the way around. Got me some, put on top, cover it really heavy. Back them coals to where it's just right there directly under that oven. One falls under the middle, you ain't heard a thing. There is no breeze whatsoever today, so we probably won't have to rotate. Today we are using some good Fogo hardwood lump, and folks, it is hot. When you take your hand and a hand width away from that Dutch oven and put your hand there, if you hold it more than 5 seconds, it's probably not hot enough. But I guarantee you that fire is hot. It'll blister your finger if you hold it much longer than that. Now, like I told you before, this is a casserole, and that bottom heat's going to cook it pretty quick. You're probably going to end up taking this off the heat on the bottom and moving it over here just so the top can get done, because it's not going to take long to get that bottom cooking really good and through, melt that cheese. Add us a little more heat to the top, brown them tater tots up. We have a Pyrenees that's a neighbor across the road, and he could eat mage in one bite, but for some unknown reason, he is scared of the mage. If he comes over here in the yard, Mage will run him off. But Mage don't pay attention when he crosses the road. That's why Mage gets in trouble quite a bit. Don't you do it. Hey, Mage. Well, it is a done deal. Folks, you want to let that stuff go ahead and cool quite a bit because, whew, that stuff will burn you. Got some of that cheese, get stuck to them taters to the roof of your mouth. You can't paw it fast enough to get it out of there. So make sure you let it cool. And in fact, I'm going to let this cool just a minute more while I feed the only help that I got out here. And that is the Mage and the Beeg. Here you go. There's the Beeg. Where is the Mage? There is the Mage. Oh, and look who showed up right about eating time. It's Lulu Head. There you go, Lou. Everybody got a tater tot. Here's to you, Mama, because I remember all the times you fixed it for me. Make you want to do, first you got to dig them taters, dig them, dig them, dig them, then you got to make them, and then you mash them. Put them tater tots in there and just stir it all up. Put some fire on it. What you call it? You call it goodness. In fact, it's so good I'm going back for another, and y'all just have to bear with me because I ain't had this in a long time neither. Like I said, I tip my hat to you, Mom, I do. And thank you, Lord, for letting me have her. She was a great cook. Folks, this is so easy. Like I say, it's one of them dishes that you can do, gather around the fire in the fall when you're camping. Makes a great noontime meal or a supper time meal. But get the kids involved because it's super easy. But as always, and it is with great honor and privilege, I tip my hat to all our servicemen and women and all the veterans who have kept that old flag flying over camp wherever me and Shan are. We appreciate you each one. We shall never forget. The rest of you, hey, we just thank y'all so much from the bottom of our hearts for letting us come into your lives and share our videos, our food, our good time, and our pups because it means so much to us. Ooh, big doings it is. We started a Patreon account, so if you want some extra footage, extra scenes, stuff you might not have seen in this video if you just watched on YouTube, be sure and check it out down below because, hey, we'd love to have you be a part of it. We thank you each and every one. God bless you so much. Come on in here. I'm going to fan it so it can cool off. I'll see you down the what? Homemade Tater Tot Casserole trail.